no droids or bounty hunters, no Raylos. Look at my hair. I just got it colored today, and yeah, okay. You know all the rules. So I've been absent. Been hanging out, putting my tree up, and decorating the house. I still have some other things to put up. Some my mom's sun catchers, one of them, go in the windows in the kitchen, and I got these. These are Hallmark. They go in the windows too. But I'll do a tour. I'll do a live tour tomorrow when everything's done and the house is clean and I got the candles lit and the miniature wolf is quiet. So we'll have some fun tomorrow with it. Hey Dave, hey Dave, how you doing? Kay's fine. She's doing well. Checked in on her yesterday. I didn't get to see her today because I had to get the mop colored. So, but her eye's fine. Looks okay to me. Hey, citizen, how you doing? If you're in the chat, you're watching, please jump in and say hi. She's got a little bit. It's really weird. She can hold her eye open. She's fine. She doesn't do that. It's not photosensitive anymore. But there's a little bit of a cloudy right on the surface. And I'm just going to live with it. She can see she's fine. Hey, Jonathan. I'm doing great. I'm tired, man. You should see the shit I did this weekend. Let's see. I put 7 trees up. I put all my Hallmark stuff up for display. I put, I got to do the mantle yet. Hey, Trayla, how you doing? Yeah, Trayla, yeah. And that I don't want to set that up without, and do a show without the mantle and the stockings. But there's a lot of really special, and I've got some other little ding dong things to put out so you can see them. Other than that, I'm tired. I really slept hard last night, and I'll probably sleep hard again today. Interestingly enough, took the dog for a walk today, and he's bounding around, and I look up and 3 deer. They had to be 300 yards away from me. I saw the tail of one, and then I saw it. When you watch them, and they're in the thick woods, you see their tails, waving back and forth. That was pretty cool. Normally, when we're there, we actually see them really up close. I mean, I gotta say this. There's a group of three does, and there's a group of 4. I think that was the group of 4 that I saw because it was on the other side of the park. There's like, anyway, it's hard to explain, but they don't run in the same area. Yeah, I'm usually really close to them. Oh, don't worry about me. I've got a glass of wine, and I'm just my husband's talking to his mom on the phone in his office, and I'm just relaxing right now. I'm gonna put the candles out, do some situating with the military tree, and then I'm done for the day. And tomorrow, I'll finish up some little ding dong things and vacuum and dust and make the house look presentable. You know, and if hey, you know what, Midnight's Edge crew wants to come and party, you know, I'll cater it. I'll have it catered, and we'll have wine and beer, and if somebody wants booze, go get some of that, and that'd be fun. And the dog will be like, "People, I love you." Only he's as big as a horse. Anyway, so while Thanksgiving happened, and while I was like this, I mean, I almost fell asleep at Mass on Saturday. How bad is that? I was so tired. And then all of a sudden I got home and I got a second wind. I almost got the tree completely done on Saturday. I went to bed at midnight. Okay, I was working my ass off, but it's worth it. Well, the deer, I mean, like 2 weeks ago, the dog and I were walking, and the trail crosses. All right, coach, I love you more than life itself, but frisbee golf? Really? And they actually have professional status now? What you do on Sunday afternoons, and I avoid the park then. We just play with the dog in the yard and get him his hour of exercise there. Because it's so much fun to be walking your dog and having a bunch of drunk or high Dickinson college students playing frisbee golf. Right? The only thing they see the dog, and I'm wearing either my Smith and Wesson hat or my Beretta hat or Winchester hat. And they're like, oh, hi, what a great pooch. And then they see me coming and I'm like, well, fuck you too. You know, up yours, little brat. I hate them. Well, yeah, but not on my walking path with my dog. I don't want drunk people on my walking path. All right? Downtown Carlisle, close to the university, close to the dorms, close to all the apartments where the losers live. Fine. Anyway, yeah, yeah, that, but 2 weeks ago, I walked, there's a row of power lines that go down and they go all the way up the mountain. Okay, because there's where, like, Kay literally lives, like, right next to a mountain. Okay. And when you're here, they look far away, but they're not. They're only like a mile, 2 miles away. Anyway, we're walking, me and the dog are walking, he's running around. He has a stick he found on the ground. Now he thinks he's He-Man, waving it around like a weirdo. And I look down, and there's a bunch of dark birds. There's a hayfield out there. I wish I owned that hayfield. I wish it was my hayfield. Because I'd always get a turkey every year, or two, and I'd always get a deer. I always see deer out there, and big buck, big buck. First deer I ever saw on a walk. Came walking out in velvet, this rack, and I'm like, it's not a Minnesota buck rack. It's not a Wisconsin buck rack. But he's, you wouldn't kick him to the curb. I mean, that was a big buck for around here. So I'm watching this, and I'm like, oh my God, that's a flock of turkeys. Now, a month ago, I think me and the dog, there's a draw. All right, the trail starts like this. It goes down and around. You go up the hill, we walk back down, and then we walk around, and we walk down into this like dark, and there's a draw with a run, a creek. And the 4 deer run through it. It's a very ratty, messy, woods. It's not heavy woods. Deer and turkeys don't like woods with trees. They like the messy, tipped over trees, grass, young kind of edge habitat. They came up out of the draw. We sat there for 15 minutes while this entire flock walked by us. Like, I'm not gonna fucking care if you're here or not. And the dog is like, I don't understand. And when we saw the deer run up the draw, I actually ran over to watch them. In fact, something told me run. So I turned around and ran back down the trail, and they crossed within 25 yards of me. If I'd had the Model 94, we would have eaten venison tonight. I had one doe, and she's looking at me like, I'm like, you're so lucky. You're so lucky you're in a park. You're so lucky this isn't my land. Anyway, back to what. So, yeah, this was actually the first walk I've taken the dog on in a few days. He's very upset. We had to move his kennel in the living room. He's looking at the tree like, Now, granted, this is his second Christmas with us, so he should kind of understand the uh, the operation. But he was, I mean, today he was so depressed. He was sitting there, and I thought he was just going to lay down in the bedroom when I was getting ready to go to see my beautician. And I'm like, no, you got to go into your kennel because I'll walk out of the shower and he'll have a pair of my underwear in his mouth. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? You know, and he knows he's not supposed to have it. But yeah, it's been a very, it's labor intensive. I suddenly realized why my dad liked having kids helping. It would be so nice. Anyway, but everything's done, and some of the stuff seems like it's harder than it is. The tree behind me, that's the wildlife tree. That tree is tough. All right, because it's got a lot of moving parts, a lot of ornaments, a lot of things to hang on the branches. The big tree is the real hard one, and that we put up on Friday. I put up the military tree, the blue tree. The next day, I put up the crystal tree, and then nearly finished the big tree on Saturday night. And those are the hard things. Everything else is just like meh, whatever. Anyway, so that's why I haven't made a live or made a video except for I think one. I can't remember. In a few days. So the book of Boba Fett dropped another teaser. It's called The Message. Now, I know Doomcock. That's well, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My Star Wars tree, which isn't that great, and then the pink and white tree is 7, and then I got like a 2-foot tinsel tree because back in the 1940s and late 30s, tinsel trees were big. I mean, if you see the movie Holiday Inn, in one of the opening scenes, you see Bing Crosby and Fred Astaire talking in their dressing room, and you see behind them a tinsel tree, a big one. And, you know, back then they weren't ugly. I think they're hideous. Okay. But I bought one because I decorated downstairs. Okay. My husband was allowed to take up the mantle of decorating the guest room. So we have one that is dedicated to the Pacific Theater of World War II. It's a Marine Corps, like almost like museum. There's an old uniform in there, a bunch of other things, family pictures, and everything else. It's basically one of those. The other room, which is dedicated to the European theater and the U.S. Army Air Force, which my father was in. It is dedicated to the ETO. So there's a lot of stuff from World War II, like old Yank magazines and stuff like that, and fake packs of like Pall Malls and Lucky Strikes. My dad used to smoke Lucky Strikes back during the war. So that pack of fake, I mean, you buy them. You buy them like for $2. They make them and it's for display. So we bought that. And we've got Rudy's uncle's officer's cover in there. My dad's stuff never survived. I don't know what happened to it, but it never survived. But there's a tinsel tree in there because it's supposed to be the 1940s. So if you come to stay at our house, you get to hang out and some pretty historical things. I still have to do a phone. I still have to get 2 phones that actually are from the 30s or 40s. And I probably get them from the 30s only because when I think about the people that lived and worked and my grandparents were so poor. Oh my God. My dad's parents had nothing their whole lives. Okay. I don't imagine them having phones, but a home that did. I want a phone like that, but not the latest, because that would mean they had a lot of money. I would say probably, like one from like 1939 or 1940. Oh, you can find stuff like that, but you gotta spend money. You go onto eBay, they're there. You gotta spend money on that. Anyway, so let's talk about the Book of Boba Fett. So, trailer is the message. Okay. When Doomcock says, and you always hear Boba Fett say, Jabba led you with fear, and I'm paraphrasing because I can't remember the whole quote. I will lead you with respect. And Doomcock thinks it's a direct reference to what with no without respect we reject. And I agree with them because that's the second one that they put out where you hear Boba Fett say that. And I honestly can't wait to see it. I love Tamara Morrison. He's just he seems like a really cool guy. And I lived in Hawaii, so I know some islanders. And, some of them I didn't like. There's a lot of really, hey Matt, how you doing? There's a lot of bad racism in Hawaii against, you know, the islander epithet for white people is haole. It means ghost. Well, you guys know my theory, all right? And Doomcock has a point where he says, they haven't announced it. Now, they didn't announce it the last time, but KK announced it. Okay, KK hasn't said anything. The only reason why anybody is taking this 3-year contract seriously is because Frank Marshall retweeted that. Retweet that was attacking us, YouTubers. And it was like, you know what? There's something going on here. And the reason, I'm not, Dave Pensack guessed at what I was talking about, so he knows where I'm going here. Frank Marshall told me a month ago, you guys saw the quote, I will be back in London when the production gets back to London. He is not in London, and the production's back in London. And they're filming, I think. I think they're filming. No word on where anybody is. If we suddenly get paparazzi pictures of Harrison Ford in, Brentwood, then we'll know they're not filming right now. Hey, Alan, how you doing? And everybody, if I didn't see you come into the chat, I'm sorry. But anyway, Frank Marshall, the last time I saw, he posted a picture of his 2 dogs sleeping on what looked like a hotel bed. All right, that could have been London, but if you bring animals overseas, they have to go into quarantine. Okay? So he's not in London. And I've got people looking for her. They haven't seen her anywhere. I think they're both in New York because Frank has been on Broadway, I think, to every play that opened. In fact, he posted a picture of himself with Jimmy Buffett at his Broadway show, Margaritaville, which, Frank, if you're watching, I don't know why you old hippies like that music. I don't get it. It all sounds the same. I'm like, oh God. And I mean, every time I look at Jimmy Buffett, I think, you propose a lazy way of life that I can't accept. I just can't, okay? Anyway, so he's in New York, as far as I know. And she is nowhere to be seen. I mean, let's talk about the Empire magazine thing again. People, it's like really weird. The magazine came out 2 weeks ago, and people act like they're just discovering shit she said. I read it. I'm like, we're in discussions. All right, I know what that means. It is nothing, okay? Nothing is going on with the sequel trilogy. Okay, being in discussions is meaningless. That's corporate gobbledygook. Okay, she wasn't in the trades saying that. She's nowhere to be found in the trades. There's something that is going on, ladies and gentlemen. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what people are going to come up with. But there's something going on. And Iger is done. The clock is ticking. He's got tomorrow at midnight, tonight. He's got 1 month at Disney and he's gone. There's something going on. No, it's either they're just keeping her low profile, just get Indy 5 done and leave. Go away. Please, just go. Or it's something else. Or it's something else. Okay. And like I said, if it is something else, I am not going to report it. I am not going to say anything about it. I have warned everybody about it. And what's really funny is, Doomcock was saying, we don't know, haven't, there's no official word. And, Odin, you're fine. There's no official word, blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. There's no official word. None. Andre, who you guys should listen to, doesn't think she's there at all. At all. The rumor was started by a guy who is, I would say he's not really disgraced. I think he did the right thing when he left the Hollywood Reporter, this Matt Baloney, but it's still what I would say is a rumor. Well, that's that Matt Piranha, whatever happens, that's it. She never, let me put it this way, that hag would never hire Robert Rodriguez. Oh, I don't, Citizen, I kind of can't wait for the Book of Boba Fett. It screams EU to me, and it screams a different work. It screams a different idea, and it screams better. Really, Mandalorian, once Luke took Grogu, technically, it's kind of over. And I really think that Favreau kind of envisioned that because they're all supposed to go together. The Book of Boba Fett is chapter 17 of this. Okay? So it's not over. It just, now we're concentrating on a character from the original trilogy who had 5 lines. But for some reason, the fanboys are like, oh, I love his uniform, he's so cool. Okay, whatever. No personality, sinister as hell. I think what gave him a little bit of mojo, we'll say, was the fact that he got a new life with the EU. All right, and which is fine, okay? And if this is the way they carry on the story and then add, you get a waft of the real story. Han, Leia, Luke, Lando, you know, and I'll never forgive them, by the way, in that novel. Luke and Lando are together, and Lando's looking for his long lost daughter who was kidnapped. That was my idea. I said that on this channel, but it wasn't Lando because he's not a character. If Lando had not been the one to be part of blowing up the last Death Star, no one would care. If he had just shown up to help save Han and gone on his merry way, and if it had been Han and the Falcon, but now we got Lando. So instead of doing Han looking for their daughter and not coming back till he found her, because he would do that, we got Lando. And why? We can't have a white man doing that. And that's exactly what that is. That's so fucking story group. It's like, fuck you. I like Lando, but don't make him bigger than he was. I mean, he was a motherfucking bastard in The Empire Strikes Back. He should have told them when they landed, get out of here. You need parts for the Falcon? Take them and go. Get the fuck out of here right now. Get the fuck out of here. He should have said that, but no. So I'm like going, you redeemed yourself by helping save Han. Now go away. Okay? There's no reason why anybody should trust him. And I really think adding him to blowing up the Death Star hurt the story of Return of the Jedi. Because I can see Leia watching the Death Star blow up and looking around and 3PO going, Your Highness, they survived. I know they got away from that. And Leia going, yeah, I know. I feel it. I mean, I can see that. That's one of the things that George should have thought about. Okay? No, Lando redeemed himself with saving Han. He had absolutely nothing to do with the rest of it. All right, that's all he had to do. Okay, then go on your merry way. All right, they took away a lot of, and I know Harrison Ford was upset because he felt like he didn't have anything to do. And that, I would have said, look, we can't, you know what I'm saying? It's about storytelling. And you get 4 main characters, and suddenly it gets real thin where you can take them. And that's my point with Lando. It should have been Han to do that. So Leia, oh my God, a woman, leading the assault on the Death Star, the thing. Okay. And, we could have her going through hijinks with the Ewoks and traps and all the rest of that shit. Okay. It could have been a lot more interesting with her, back in 1983. Oh my God. Women never did that. It was like, I don't know, whatever. Anyway. Yeah, if you think about it. And Han telling Chewie, look, I know the princess. She'll get through. She'll do it. I know she will. And I could just see him saying that. Oh my God, I should have wrote this. Anyway, so we've got the Book of Boba Fett coming out. A teaser trailer with I Will Lead with Respect. I tend to agree with Doomcock. I agree with him. I really, really do. There's something going on at Lucasfilm. Now, Pablo Hidalgo's on Twitter acting like he's relevant. Cabernet. It's the last one for the night. I've got more stuff to do, but I'm going to go to bed. I know the guys are going to do Midnight's Edge after dark, and I will probably be in the chat, but I'll probably be asleep. I leave it on for the views. I mean, if you're a wrench with a site like that or with a channel like that, and you can't be there, make sure that they're getting your thing. It helps. But as far as the Book of Boba Fett, I think it may be a turning point. I really do. I really, really, really do. I guess now they're casting for Ahsoka. Oh, great. My favorite conspiracy theorist, Diana, just sent another. I know more about this than you do, even though she's never had a job where she'd actually be part of anything in her whole life. But damn it, she watches Alec Jones. Well, Citizen, it was officially verified by KK herself the last time. Now, it's not been officially verified in any of the industry trades. The only reason why even anybody's taking it seriously is because Frank Marshall posted it, retweeted it. KK is nowhere to be seen. He is still in New York. There's something going on, and it's not. It's not. And I don't think she's in hiding because she wants to be. There's just something weird going on right now, and that's why I tell people it is not what you think it is. Probably. She's what, 67, 68 years old. You know, I gotta say, if it's what I think it is, it makes sense. Yeah, he is. I mean, one of my subscribers sent me a bunch of tweets. I'm like, fuck him. He doesn't follow Filoni. He doesn't follow Favreau. He doesn't follow Lucasfilm or Marvel or Disney anymore. I mean, he's on the outside looking in, like a kid up against a glass. Let me in. And when I think of the crap that he allowed, that he supported, it's not fan fiction. It's horrible fan fiction. It's awful. It's horrible. I mean, it's nasty. Anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go because I'm gonna finish up what I'm doing. Okay, I gotta let the dog out of his kennel too. He's probably like, but after what he did today, a pine cone fell off of one of the garlands. He ate it and threw it up. Hey, Kev. I was just talking about you, dude. Not directly. And then he threw it up. And then he found a stick. A stick somehow that got in the basement. He probably brought it in when he was a puppy and threw it away. And threw that up. I think he is gone. It was. Yeah, it was. I'm just really tired now. Oh, God. I worked my ass off the last Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, today. 5 days. All right. So I know how people who work do labor feel. I mean, look at this. There's one. If we go here, let's see. you can only see, let's wait a minute. Just a second. I'm going to do something here. Just a second, guys. See the idiot in his kennel? All right, yeah, I was drinking Woodbridge. Yeah, the shorties. Let's put it this way: it's a decent table wine, and when you're not looking to impress somebody, you just want an okay, whatever. It's fine. Don't mock me. Don't mock me. I have $100 bottle of bubbly in my thing. Okay. Anyway, that's the work I've been doing. So anyway, I think the Book of Boba Fett, that video was really good. Or that trailer was really good. We're gonna be getting more stuff. My hair salon girl is a total Star Wars geek, and she's like, I didn't even know what was going on. It's like it's everywhere. It's everywhere. Yeah, it's gonna be great. I mean, it's a great. It's gonna be awesome. So anyway, guys, I gotta go, and you have a good evening, and I'll be back tomorrow. See you around the galaxy.